It's not filling and chilling. It's just chilling. I saw Stoney's video the other day, and he was talking about YouTube, talking about you could take hours doing something and it doesn't take off. You could do something that's, you know, not really involved, and then you can get way more traction. I saw, it's not just limited to him. I've been seeing other people talk about, you know, shorts views changing. I've been talking to Prepper about a lot of YouTube stuff. But I guess I don't have the answers for everyone because I don't know 100% of what they're like looking for. So I guess we'll break out the whiteboard today. And let me ask you one thing first. Okay. What are your goals? It's a pretty basic question. So what are you looking for? Are you looking for an audience that keeps returning, like in long form content? Because in short form content, I find that you're not going to find a lot of people returning that subscribe that way. Because you could post a short and, like, say when I had like 1,000 subscribers, I could post a short and I could still only have 5 views on something. But I could post a short and it would have, you know, 10,000 views. So what are your goals? If you're looking for viewership, shorts are the easiest way. If you're looking for returning viewers, you have to consistently work on your long form, would be my suggestion. I don't really have an opinion on streaming, so we'll leave that out. Alright, let's go over the long form. And Stoney was mentioning thumbnails, which is definitely very important. I'm terrible at thumbnails, as you can tell from my thumbnails. I try to be creative, but it's so hard to get wording and stuff to display 100% through mobile, desktop, and on the TV. So I'm not a pro at that by any means. And it sucks when I see a lot of people who work hard on them and then like it'll be cut off on mobile. And then on desktop it'll have like the timestamp on it. And you'll be like, wow. I'm sure people have noticed that, and it's frustrating. So thumbnail is very, very important because you need people to see it in the feed, and the feed is where you're going to get clicked on. Obviously, there's going to be people, you know, searching for certain things, which I guess tags would work for that. But I don't really have luck with tags. I feel like the most part for what people do on YouTube is just the feed. That's what I personally look at. When it comes down to the YouTube feed, you're not going to get brought up in that feed unless you're consistently clicked on. If you're getting clicked on consistently, that's going to be like the number one thing. Number two is going to be watch time. If someone watches, say like a 15-minute video of it in its entirety, pretty sure YouTube is going to start throwing that into your feed. Because I've watched other channels that it might be a 30-minute video, an hour-long video, and then you get bombarded with nothing but that sometimes. So it's going to come down to watch time and how often they keep coming back. If you keep ignoring that channel in your feed or whatever, it's going to stop suggesting it, but it's going to take some time. If you make one video and it gets thousands of views, it's very hard to get subscribers through one video. Like you might get a few, but those 1,000 views don't really mean returning people. So then it's going to come down to consistency in your content. And a lot of the times, you need similar content. People go to a channel for a specific thing. And if you change that up, they don't really like that. They want consistency. So I would just suggest looking at that as almost like a business decision. Figure out long-term what you want to do, what's going to interest you. Like, we know throughout the community, chronograph testing we do, penetration tests, different pellet accuracy groupings. There's paths you can go down, and if those are your thing and you like doing it, then I would just say keep doing one thing and keep doing it. But it's also got to be something that's going to grab people's attention, obviously. If you wanted to buy something and you're like, all right, I want to look at my YouTube channel as a business right now. I'm going to buy, like, the Gauntlet 2 came out not too long ago, and I didn't really know that. So when I made my first video, it actually kind of took off with it because it was like a relative like, it was a commonly searched thing. People were looking for videos, so it naturally occurred. But you can't really post long form video that's, oh, it's just someone shooting in their backyard or something, like what I do, what a lot of us do. Not too many people are going to be like, oh, you know what? Let me search for shooting in backyard. Oh, how do I find that? It's very hard for YouTube to, promote that. You kind of just have to roll with it and get lucky as well. But for me, my suggestion would be consistent content that, keeps people actually entertained. You're going to have to add your own flair to it. I'm not really great at that aspect of things. But on the shorts aspect, that's more of where, I guess, if you're involved with that, let's go from long form to shorts content. All right, for shorts, that's kind of more of my forte right now, because that's what basically has been growing my channel for the vast majority of its existence right now. So for shorts, I see it as YouTube doing a beta test for this type of content, like, similar to TikTok or Facebook Reels, but YouTube is the newest one to the table. So they're in beta testing right now. I'm a beta tester for it. Everyone viewing it is basically a beta tester for Google. They're using them to test their algorithm. That's my guess. How does their algorithm work? This is all my opinion. I'm just assuming, so don't take this as, fact right now. They're promoting the video for you, and you're just like giving them ammunition for their machine. So think of your video as ammunition, and you're feeding it, and it's going, and then it's either going to hit or miss, and it starts to go on track, and then it's like the wind's blowing this way. All right, the algorithm's deciding, oh, this isn't it. Misses. The wind is constantly blowing with these. Just imagine like that. That's the most figurative thing I can think of. And if you're not consistently like, all right. So imagine throwing political stuff at someone, and they're a Republican or they're a Democrat. So you're separating your audience probably by 50%. So how hard is that going to be to maintain the algorithm? If you look at it like that way too, that's probably a little bit easier. But if I can promote a video that everyone can get along with, and, well, they still have issues with guns in general, the vast majority of people can agree with, sorry, then I'm doing my job, and YouTube's like, all right, you're doing your job. Let's keep boosting this. And the shorts don't really come up, and I don't search for anyone's shorts. I look in the community for shorts. I don't really even search anything in YouTube. If I might be searching for something, it's like for a video like diagnosing something or along those lines. And it's very rare. It's mostly just what's in the feed, but the shorts don't really have a feed except for the most basic, you know what I'm talking about, unless there's something I'm unaware of. But YouTube is just like, all right, it's on course. Let it go. We're going full send. And that's what it does to some of my videos when it just pops off. But you need to prime it to pop off. And when you start injecting things that it likes and that other people like, and what's that going to take? Are you actually capturing what you're doing the best way you can? Do you have good audio? And you don't need a bunch of money for good audio. You can capture video with a cell phone. You probably have the tools necessary to do some of these things. I don't want anyone to get discouraged, because I can take this and make a video and get 500,000 views. It doesn't really matter. I could probably take my chaser and make a video and get 1 million views with it. It's going to come down to what you're actually doing, how creative you can turn 15 seconds under a minute into. When you're doing YouTube Shorts, it starts default on your cell phone at 15 seconds. I don't know what you're using, but that's what it defaults to. You can do up to a minute. Make it as short as possible, but you have to make it as informative as possible, crammed in, as tight as possible. Because people will also they might be viewing it, but also watch your retention time. You want retention, I would say, 85% up on your views, 85% up on your videos. If you're not getting that, start making your videos shorter. My guess is they're too long. If you can start correlating your watch time retention to the length of video, then maybe I'm suggesting something that is, you're going down the right path. Maybe you're making something that's too redundant. Maybe you're making something it's the same. Like I used to do my star videos over and over and over again because that's all I used to just do. I was just doing YouTube in my spare time while I was shooting, and then when I had my spare time, I could edit and then upload, and then YouTube does its thing in my spare time too, like where we are now. And then also along those lines, how well it's going to feed into that algorithm. You need to like prime these things in. There's so much involved. Are you bringing energy to the table? A lot of energy. Stoney did mention that. You do need a lot of energy, and I had none in the beginning. I didn't even want to talk. You don't necessarily need to talk, but you could bring in like music or something. You can add it in different ways. So for anyone who wants to really dig deep and grow their channel, get that viewership, get the monetization, there's so much more involved with monetization though. That I'm not going to go over that in this, but getting monetization is like basically you've just passed a tutorial for YouTube at that point. That's like when you're going to start to really kick off and understand 100% and get involved, because it's harder to, like, we're doing this for fun, but yeah, it'd be awesome to have this as an extra little bit of income, and there's nothing wrong with that. If you've unlocked that ability, you deserve the ability to have it. And if we can get you to earn even more money and become like, they're going to go in hand, earning money in your videos are going to go in hand, because you might get that ability unlocked, but you might be making, $1 off the ad revenue in a year because you don't have anything that goes anywhere. So it becomes this interest where you're like, I can actually, you could actually orient certain purchases that you make and use them as if it's like for a business. You need a better camera, you need a microphone, you're investing in yourself. I don't know if you can actually claim that on your taxes or not, but I did have to like sign some like tax form document with YouTube, so you probably could. But if you wanted to buy a gauntlet, you could imagine having the gauntlet and working with YouTube ad revenue money, because I can tell you right now, that gun would have paid itself off if I bought that for my channel already in just a couple of videos. In less than a year, I've already paid off that gun. Well, actually, yeah, with that scope on there, that thing would be completely paid off, because that one's only 250 or something. So I wasn't even expecting that, and that's crazy to me. And if you get one video to pop off, I'm talking like multi-million views, that thing would be paid off. And then you have it's honestly a tool. Whatever you wanted to get, be like, if you're eyeballing something, be like, you know what? I'm going to use my ad money and get this thing. And then with this thing, it's like just another tool for my channel at that point. So for something like that, it's definitely an incentive, It gives you another goal for something to work for. And as long as your fun is still number one, you bring a lot of energy to your videos, and that transfers over. Your content's interesting. You just have to go through your analytics and assess, maybe some of these videos you're getting comfortable with as if it's more of a hobby, which is completely fine, rather than a business. But you just can't look at it at two ways at the same time. You just have to commit to one or the other. You just want to share stuff around with everyone, then don't expect to really grow. If you want to work and use the tools that YouTube gives you, decipher them, add your own unique personality to it, your own whatever guns you have. I don't even think it really matters what guns you have. You could probably use a chaser and make a 1 million view video. It just comes down to what you add to it. what you put in and send out. So my advice would be to get a really decent microphone, number one, because capturing your voice and capturing what you're doing is going to be, you know, pretty significant. The first thing that comes down is audio. Audio, I think, makes the biggest difference. And with that video that Prepper had, 35 bucks, I don't think anyone has an excuse to not be heard well and like with great clarity. So that definitely helps. So just to start breaking down things, maybe reorient how you're looking at this. If you want to look at it as, oh, I'm growing my channel because I like doing it and I want to make some money, then look at it as a business. Just don't dump a ton of money into it, you know, from the get-go. If you're concerned about budget, work with what you have and then build up to it. You can get by with a cell phone and a $30 microphone, whatever tools you have right now, whatever guns you have right now. Do something unique. Think of something. You're just going to keep doing it until you figure out what fits. You're going to fill a niche. If you're funny, add something funny to it. You being funny is going to take over the video. It doesn't really matter what else is involved. It's just an accessory. You could add whatever you want. I made a joke with an airsoft gun, and it got 30,000 views in a short. You just have to add little bits of flair. It'll naturally come through as long as you allow it. Because I'm pretty sure this wouldn't knock down a. I'm pretty sure that would knock down a 20-pound steel at 100 yards. So you can get by with prop things too and add comedy to it, but things like that, like if you get people to interact, that's gonna boost your video. And obviously, hopefully, it's in a good way, not a negative way. Like getting more likes definitely helps. Because when you start throwing those things in, YouTube, as it's going through with its algorithm suggestion, it's going to go, all right, keep going. Yep, keep going. If you start seeing it stop, that means it got to a point that it probably started fighting one another. It reached its end and just fizzled out. So if you get one that has like 1,000 views and fizzled out, you are kind of on your way. Maybe YouTube just did it as like a initial boost and stopped. Maybe you throw out a short, it might get 1,000 views. Let's dissect those 1,000 views. You're going to go to your analytics, right? Go to your analytics. That's your YouTube friend. So in that 1,000 views, which it does take some time sometimes once you get it initially, say it's a week old, 1,000 views. All right, how many likes do I have? 10. How many people swiped away versus saw it? 40% of people actually saw it. 60% swiped away. Are there any comments? No. Okay. You post another one. Now it's got 10 views. You post another one. Now it's back up to 1,000. The same thing. If you're struggling to get 1,000 right now, change up what you're doing. If you're not getting that 1,000 views, reassess yourself first. Like, we got to look at this like we're diagnosing your channel. Maybe you get 2,000, and you can start to see in your analytics that hopefully you're getting more likes. Maybe you got some comments. If you get one that has a 5,000 view, does it have a good amount more likes than the last one? Start looking at your ratio of likes between views. That's how you can also break down whether you're on track or not. I have videos where I might take a start down with the gauntlet. It'll have, let's say, 10,000 views. And it might have 100 likes. But there's one where I take it down and I'm like way better at the star. And it'll have 30,000 views, but it'll have, 1,500 likes. And you can obviously tell that me doing better in the video probably helped, but that might not always be the case. The video might also be shorter. That could help too. A lot of these things is that retention span. If you look through your views, you notice that retention span, you really want that at 80, 85 or higher. You sometimes even want it, like I have ones that are 150%. It's pretty crazy. But if they're really short too, that also, that helps. So those analytics break down your like ratio, see who's commenting. If you can get people to comment, hopefully saying good things, you're on the right track. The thing I don't think that really helps is, or maybe it's not as significant, I don't know. I'm just assuming it doesn't really help. I feel like when, we have our group of people who comment on everyone's videos, I honestly think Google, omits that, or maybe it wants more than just that. I don't know. I can't say for 100%. I feel like it takes a variety of different people. It must realize it's the same group of people, the same usernames and whatnot, and it's not giving it that boost. That's just my thought on that. Because when you start getting a variety of people you've never seen before, I feel like that is what really, it really helps at that point. Likes in general, if you're getting 100 likes on something, you're doing something right. I feel like 100, if you're hitting 100 on every single one, you're probably on a path somewhere. Start analyzing how many likes you're getting. Start analyzing your attention. Start analyzing how many swiped away, how many didn't. Comments, likes. You can even look at the dislikes. I've heard the dislikes help too, but I'm not 100% sure on that. Use those as your tool. Find your niche. For me, my Texas Star was the first one because not that many people have them, I guess. Right? And I guess that just took off. I can still use them today. That's an investment to me. Not only as a training tool and just for fun, but it's part of the channel now, right? So you build your range and you show it off you're investing in yourself in multiple ways. You don't have to think of it just as, oh, I'm getting X gun. If you need it and you if it makes sense to have, it's not just not that I'm giving you excuses to go buy tons of stuff, but you know what I mean. It is an investment in you. And to be fair, if you want me to be really fair, you're probably better off buying things now because the money's going to be worth much less later, and those things are going to be worth higher value. Except that scope is 50% off from where it was 2 years ago. I was not going crazy. I saw the Iraq Veteran 8888 video, and it was $450 or $500. Now it's $250. Crazy, right? Yeah, so that's pretty much it. Follow your analytics if you're not. Let me know if you have been. Send me screenshots. I do try to list my email. You can go to the About page. It's listed there because I can't list it in links because YouTube will probably delete them. But you can send me an email. Just let me know that you sent me an email because my email gets bombarded with junk mail, so I might miss it. That's my advice if you're going to send me an email, because I'll help you go over some of your stats and whatnot if you want. I don't mind helping. As long as you're willing to grow on your own and boost your channel and you're looking for success, it's going to take your commitment too. So as long as you're willing to do it on your part, I don't mind helping. I've been trying to give Prepper as much advice as possible. I'm his sensei right now, whatever the hell that means, because I'm still learning a lot as I go too, but I figure I'd share this in a video versus, one-on-one right now. But like I said, I'll go over some stats and let you guys know. We can go over, maybe I'll watch give me different videos and stuff and be like, I can tell you why something so-and-so might have done better or worse, especially if it's a short video. I'm not really an expert on the long form, so this would be shorts only. Okay? Alright.